Hey guys, it's the Pink King here. A bit of a different video today, but this is something I feel I need to talk about, just to help get this stuff more out there as much as possible. Again, I don't enjoy making videos like this. I'd much rather keep making my silly dinosaur videos, but at this point, it's at a certain level where I can't ignore this stuff anymore, and neither should you, really. So if you haven't heard, Disney has just held a very big show. I'm not sure what it's called exactly, but all you need to know is that they have been announcing some of their new upcoming projects that they're working on, and it seems that my biggest worry has come true. What worry is that? Well, it all starts with Inside Out 2. Now, if you've been living under a rock, you might not be aware that Inside Out 2, Pixar's latest release, has just crossed $1 billion worldwide, and is on its way to beating Lion King and Frozen 2 to become the most successful animated movie of all time. A success that is highly deserved, honestly, because Inside Out 2 was a fantastic movie. But my biggest worry about that film's success was whether or not Disney would learn the right lessons from it. And after seeing their announcements, it's clear they have not. As most of what they're working on now is either a remake or a sequel. We have Moana 2, Zootopia 2, Snow White, Frozen 3, a Moana remake, a Mufasa movie, Tron Ares, Lilo and Stitch the remake, The Incredibles 2, and Toy Story 5. This is mental. And I didn't even mention stuff from like the MCU or Star Wars as an example. I can count on one hand the amount of content they have that's going to be original. And this is probably the most extreme case of both greed and desperation Disney has ever shown as a company. Considering most of these movies are highly unnecessary, the only ones I think are actually worth anything is Zootopia 2 and Incredibles 3. Mainly because both franchises are so rich in lore and world building that I don't mind another entry for them. Plus, both franchises have been gone a long time now, so it's welcome to see them return. But everything else is the exact opposite. Like Toy Story 5. What the hell's going on with that? This franchise ended 14 years ago. That's almost a decade and a half. And then an unnecessary sequel 5 years ago, and now it's getting another unnecessary sequel. When is enough actually enough? Oh, and let's not forget the remake, shall we? Snow White, Mufasa, and Lilo and Stitch. This is legitimately awful. All three of these movies were defined perfectly in their original versions, so doing all this now in live action just feels like an absolute piss take. It's an absolute piss take. This company was founded on proving animation can be an art form and that animation is worthy art. That was the belief of Walt Disney himself, that animation is art. So to not only take some of the most gorgeous and unique animated classics from his studio and dump them into ugly live action, but you're taking the career-defining thing that Walt Disney created and bastardizing it for the sake of profits. Yes, this has been an issue, but this is by far a new low for them, and just reeks of desperation, considering all the trouble they have been going through with the box office lately, and with all the box office bombs, and failing to make a profit practically anywhere. This, to me, is the thing that's killing not only animation, but cinema in general. This is an incredibly predatory approach to filmmaking, and has resorted to people accepting this and thus not going to see stuff that truly deserves it, the much more original and boundary-pushing stuff, because these movies are not real movies anymore. They're ads. These are commercials. There's something to remind you of a popular brand so you keep buying into it over and over again. Like, take Lilo and Stitch. That franchise is not even 30 years old. It's still in its 20s years old. It's like 22 years old. And it's already getting a live action remake. Why? The original is still remembered. It's still beloved. Why are you doing this? Beside desperation. However, despite all this is still somehow not the worst thing Disney have been up to recently. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and this needs to be addressed, as this has helped to show Disney's true morals and just how evil the company really is now. Now, I say company for a reason, because not all of Disney is evil. The creators and animators, the people who put the work in to make everything you see on screen, they're not evil. They're people either filling in a quota or just trying to work in a highly competitive market. So when I call Disney evil here, I'm referring to the company, not the artists themselves, so be aware of that. But Pinking, I hear you ask, what has Disney done to be so bad? Well, a few days ago, there was a case made public about a man trying to sue Disney because his wife unfortunately passed away due to eating food that she was allergic to at a Disney restaurant that knew she was allergic to that food. And now, Disney are trying to get this case thrown out of court because the man signed up for a Disney Plus subscription a few years ago. I'm not joking. That is insane. You can't sue Disney for literally killing someone because you subscribed to their subscription service a few years ago. Not only is that highly immoral, but it's just straight up evil. That's just evil. And keep in mind, this is the only one made public. There's probably been a lot of other cases of stuff just like this, because something like this has definitely happened before. But Disney have been so good at covering things up that they've gotten away with it up until now. So just imagine what the other stuff they've been doing behind the scenes that people aren't aware of. It's scary to think about. Not to mention, this isn't the first time they've tried stuff like this. Like when Disney tried to sue a grieving father because he wanted to put Spider-Man on his son's grave. Like, how evil can you get? It's stuff like this that just depresses me. It really just upsets me. It feels proper dystopian. It just does. Disney has become a company so immoral that it's at a point that it's just plain obvious now. They were once champions of creativity to now obsessed with underpaying their talent, milking the fuck out of their work from the past, and even straight up vault levels of evil to try and silence people who have suffered because of them. If there's anything you could take away from this video, let it be this. Disney as a corporation is evil, and is highly desperate. But there is a way you can help in this matter. And it's just don't watch Disney products. For me, I'm not going to watch anything Disney related apart from the more original stuff from them now, and I highly advise you do the same. Disney either needs to go out of business or have a complete overhaul internally, and the only way that's going to happen is if you watch other things instead. Spend your money wisely. As an example, watch stuff like Wild Robot or maybe even Sonic 3, because the only way you can make these monsters learn is by showing them that you're not going to take their shit. But yeah, what do you guys think of this situation? Personally, I'm rather disgusted by what I've seen, and I feel I owe it to you guys who trust my judgment on movies and whatnot to be honest to you guys and inform you that what's really going on and that people aren't seeing as much as they should, because this stuff is highly questionable and it's important that you know this. Comment below, what do you guys think? I read every one of your comments and I'm willing to debate with any of you who want to talk about this sort of stuff in the comments. I'm very intrigued to see what you guys have to say on this. But with that, I will talk to you all next time.